Hello, I'm the Angry Spork, and did you guys know there was a crossover between Batman and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Isn't that crazy? I mean, so crazy that you may never have conceived of the idea, but when it finally happens, it makes so much sense in such a weird way. I mean, I've always loved Batman, and I've enjoyed the Ninja Turtles, so I don't know what could possibly kill my excitement for... I am going to... Excuse me. Oh, well, looks like I'm gonna host the show now. Oh, alright, bro. So, let's begin by... Aww! Why do you have to come back to his own show? And I was gonna steal from him. No fair, bro! Okay. So if you've seen my first season, or certain comments I've made on social media, or heard my snarky remarks in reviews of unrelated comics, you may have noticed that I have certain problems with James Tynion IV. But can you blame me? One of my favorite characters in comics of all time, previously mishandled and mistreated by DC, gone for so long, and the best we get is some pale replication that ends up as a kung fu backup singer to a poorly developed, overly favored little snot with no unique qualities, and if her character growth were like singing, Harper would make Joan Copland sound like Susan Boyle. That said, I don't think Tynion is an awful writer, so I'm going to give him a fair shot while taking issue with Batman Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, written by, you know, with art by Freddie E. Williams II. A lot of legacies on this book. Anyway, let's start with issue number 1 and see if this comic makes us want to turn the page or turn our heads. But if I see so much as one strand of purple-dyed hair or some poser cosplaying as Lin Bei Fong, all bets are off! The first issue's cover features the Dark Knight and the heroes in the half-shell around him. It's by no means bad, having a very honest feel to it, showing you exactly what it says on the proverbial tin. The first page is a splash of Foot Clan Ninja, longtime adversaries of the Turtles, surrounding a group of scientists, as one of them narrates, and rather poetically with mention of falling into another world, someplace strange and impossible. Yeah, guys dressed in black, carrying bladed weapons. That is the dictionary definition of impossible. I waxed my beard for this review. The narrator mentions they were working on a clean energy generator, but with the approaching ninja, it felt like they were doomed. Just as the facility's security broke through, the lights cut out, after which only flashes of 4 particular mask colors and the glint of metal was seen over sounds of struggle. The lights popped back on, the generator was gone, and the narrator saw the frighteningly inhuman eyes of our green foursome. The account is told by the one female scientist we saw in the group, worried what the generator could do in the wrong hands, as Batman promises to stop the thieves. In the background we see Gotham and the bat symbol, but no indication of where these two are. Are they still at the labs? outside near a gathering of police and medical professionals? At the local church's chicken? A storefront TV exposits on the theft at Powers Industrial, Batman Beyond reference, which is the fourth attack on a research facility since a theoretical physicist was abducted the previous month, one Dr. Naveen Khan. Meanwhile, a pizza delivery man is following peculiar instructions and leaving the box on a street which is soon taken by its sewer-dwelling purchasers. However, they got $20 to pay for it. $20 even with tips sounds pretty steep for one pizza for 4 or 5 of them. I hope for the turtle's sake they at least loaded that sucker with some toppings. We jump to the Batcave, where Bruce informs Alfred that survivors of the recent attacks suffered injuries consistent with a specialized form of ninjutsu, and the monstrous creatures seem to be building something with the stolen tech. Alfred segues into how, once again, nearing the anniversary of his parents' death, 1 week in this case, Bruce dives into one pet project or another, like he is right now. The Intimidator suit is more than a pet project, Alfred. It's a cool-looking, impractical toyetic gimmick to give wow factor in case an issue of one of my comics can't be bothered with substance or competent editing. Bruce isn't planning on recalling Damian from his mission abroad, nor will he accept Gotham PD's extra security at Wayne Enterprises R&D. I'm taking the car. Well, so much for seeing the latest design of the Bat Tricycle. In the sewers, Killer Croc and some goons are tracking the Batmobile's movements with a device the Man-Gator paid $8,000 for. No explanation if there's a tracker on the car, or if Batman's personal ride emits some special energy or signal that can be uniquely pinpointed. It's just tracking it somehow. Anyway, while Bats parks and busies himself guarding Wayne R&D, Croc and crew will strip the iconic vehicle like wallpaper and live off the profits selling the pieces on the black market. Yeah, he'd make a pretty penny selling it to crooks and mad scientists, but he'd probably make more setting up a booth at a comic convention. The group then comes upon a portion of the sewers that looks pretty homey. Fresh pizza, TV, computer and monitors. While telling his men to prepare to use lethal force, Croc tries coaxing the kids out to their deaths because they might have heard too much about their plans, and even goes to the extent of crushing a Death Laser Pony Racers video game. Michelangelo's, to be precise, though it must be a pretty old game given it's in cartridge form. Above them, lying in wait, are the titular brothers. Funny, since Killer Croc, who is smarter than he looks, sick of being called a cannibal, and was shown to be more compassionate than his appearance would let on, crying over the death of a little girl, is now joking about eating people and informing his thugs to kill what he seems to think are children. And by funny, I mean, what is your problem with consistency? At Wayne R&D, the Foot infiltrate and deal fatal strikes against scientist holograms of scientists, which are apparently advanced enough to fool the human eye. You can bet this level of tech won't be utilized outside this one incident. Batman is revealed hiding within a hologram of some equipment and demands to know what they want with the lab's signal amplifier. Their answer after we return to the Turtles stealthily taking out some of Croc's goons. And I admit, it's fun to see the worry on this guy's face as Raphael closes in on him. Steam begins filling the room as Mikey teases one of their uninvited guests that they're aliens, possibly a gag referencing Michael Bay's comments about the 2014 movie, and Donatello is briefly distracted by how the definition does and doesn't really describe them. Also, apparently in their world, the entirety of Gotham City is one big field. A city-sized field in the United States not used for housing, farming, or manufacturing? Theirs is truly a bizarre universe. A splash page features the Turtles targeting Croc, with the mighty battle cry, "This is for my pony racers!" As one potentially interesting brawl begins, we jump to one's end, as Bats has one conscious ninja left to interrogate. Don't you just hate it when your foot fall asleep? The stealth assassin says they are the Foot Clan and trying to get home. As for the meta-humans Pointy Ears is talking about, he reasons he means the turtles. Not that it matters much, since before he can elaborate, he gets shurikened in the chest by Uroku Saki, the Shredder. He warns the Bat Warrior the city will be safe so long as he doesn't cross them. Otherwise, he and everyone else will burn.
Oh, meaning he'll tell spoiler alert about his plan, but she won't actually do anything helpful because daddy issues. Fair shot for this story doesn't mean I won't joke about his past follow-ups.
Shredder tosses a smoke bomb, which must also be a teleport bomb, since in an instant he's taken all his dozen or so unconscious or dead ninja, with Batman just standing there, having offered no opposition. That's our Batman! We jump to the turtles standing over an unconscious Croc.
Phew! For a second there, I thought we might get an interesting fight scene.
Raph is pretty angry that they have to find a new base and will lose track of the Foot. Master Splinter enters. I'm guessing he was just lounging in the next room this whole time, echoing Raphael's sentiments to move on. Though not taking anything with them, so I guess they'll just have to find new computer equipment, too. I'm sure that'll be easy. Reaching the surface, Donatello notices the Batmobile. She's beautiful. Donnie, I think she's taken.
Okay, that's a funny exchange, and visually a good way to close the first issue. Though I don't know why Don is so enamored with this particular version of such a famous car. Not because I personally don't care for it aesthetically, but because there doesn't seem to be anything about it that would seem to interest a nerd like him. It just looks like a customized black muscle car with red windshields. Unless Donnie is suddenly a car buff now.
Though I'm curious if the turtles placed themselves underneath Wayne R&D intentionally in hopes of intercepting the Foot. If that was the case, why weren't they staking out the area when Croc and his goons arrived? That could have made for a more interesting scene of Splinter taking them out, though a scene we probably would have missed the most interesting parts of anyway, just like we did here.
Oh, the possibilities they completely overlook.
Issue 2's cover could be seen as a kind of direct progression from the first. Whereas they were simply gathered together initially, now they're charging onward for a mission. Not crowding together, but still as a kind of unit, possibly following whatever gadget Donatello is using. We open on Mikey inside a pizza place, the entrance busted open and glass shards on the floor. Though no explanation why. He's warning of some crazy guy in a batsuit, humorously thinking that's why people are spooked. No time to sample the local cuisine, as he's bat-roped out, joining his brothers, the leader of whom notes their opponent is on a whole other level, and they'll have to overwhelm him.
Step 1 of overwhelming someone, announce you're about to overwhelm them.
They attack, Batman evading them to the point of even hitting each other, and though Raph gets a good hit in, he's tased by the Batmobile while its owner takes one of his sais. Apparently he doesn't think he has enough trophies in the cave because he also takes one of Mikey's nunchaku, but promptly loses it, redirecting Donatello's attack. He faces Leonardo, who really loses his temper when his sword breaks, telling him to back away from his brothers.
That's a nice sentiment and all, but technically you all went after him. We don't even know who threw the first punch in all this, and that's kind of important if Leo is going to be all protective. And it might also help explain how Mikey broke those windows.
After Leo states they were trying to stop the robbery at the Powers Lab, Splinter intervenes. A rat. What is truly stranger, an animal that acts like a man, or a man who acts like an animal?
Knowing martial arts, tying up criminals, and fighting clowns and penguins are common traits of most species of bat, after all.
While the Dark Knight's skills are formidable, Splinter easily holds his own and smoke bombs an exit for himself and his sons. Sometime later, the Turtles are in an arcade, Donnie researching Batman with a laptop apparently liberated/stolen from an internet cafe, while Mikey plans on charting how cool Bats is depending on his good or bad alignment. Raph is ticked off that Batman is distracting them from their mission of getting home in case their other famous enemy, Krang, will be up to something in their absence. Does someone need a hug? Or a pizza? Or a pizza hug? What the hell is a pizza hug? Trust me, you don't want to find that out.
Donnie's got stories, kids. Butterscotch onions and anchovy stories.
Leonardo, however, noticed Batman was avoiding lethal attacks, as if he was analyzing them. Like a detective.
Too subtle!
I'm okay with someone figuring out that kind of detail about Batman that maybe others wouldn't in a first encounter, but who says he was fighting like a detective? It's such an odd line. Why did Mikey write little bat-throwy things? Is he talking about these? Because I would think that someone who was raised in Japanese culture would call them bat shuriken. Anyway, while they wait for Master Splinter to return, Lucius Fox is at Wayne R&D, having determined that the kung fu movie prop psi Bruce Wayne gave him to analyze is faintly radioactive, and matches hypothetical transdimensional qualities outlined by Naveen Khan, the abducted scientist mentioned last issue. The psi's alternate world steel is transmuting to their universe's steel, and is in a state of radioactive imbalance in the process. Blood found on the weapon showed traces of a mutagenic compound their universe doesn't have, and is slowly becoming inert. So whatever was changed in that universe will eventually return to its natural state in this one.
So it's confirmed that New 52/post-Flashpoint DC is inhospitable to the Ninja Turtles, as well as many DC characters.
Lucius mentions that Khan was actually a Wayne Enterprises employee, working on a scientifically sensible but exceedingly costly dimensional portal project until he was focused elsewhere. With the previously stolen components, Khan could potentially get it working. It would just need a resonance engine like the one that Bruce had shipped to Central City under a false label, the serial number of which Fox has with him. Wait, I thought it was a signal amplifier. Anyway, he leaves and Bruce suits up, informed by Alfred that the same kind of resonator was licensed out to 5 government agencies for use overseas. And 6 months back, one went missing, though the report was stricken. While having something called Witch's Eyes scanning the sewers for the Turtles, Bats leaves to check the black market for stolen machinery. And who should slink in behind him unnoticed but Master Splinter, now keenly aware of his family's predicament.
Get to your home dimension now before they draw arbitrary lines on you!
At the local docks, Saki is present for the arrival of the aforementioned errant resonance engine, courtesy of the Penguin's resources. Instead of a cash payment, however, Shredder sticks his foot on the mercenaries' sellers.
Now that deserves a splash page.
The Warlord is about to do away with Oswald, condescendingly remarking on Gotham's underworld being run by a man with a bird's name, which is funny since even this version of Shredder has animal-mutated humans under his employ. But Cobblepot offers his resources to save himself, able to do what Shredder wants done without attracting Gotham-style attention. The walking Ginsu set agrees, and gets the added bonus of not being pursued by the Turtles, believing they and their sensei will die off for him. Speaking of, Splinter has already told them of the threat of demutation and are climbing their way to the kind of help that may get them home, ending up in the Batcave.
Just remember, if you get caught, say you took a wrong turn at Albuquerque. Well, so far, the story's not so bad. Sure, there are some oddities, like why Batman didn't try to fight the Shredder, how Mikey broke those windows, and we're supposed to buy that Lucius is supposed to buy that Bruce Wayne got an interdimensional movie prop. It's just really stretching us all.
Yet the added dilemma of the Turtles and Splinter is quite unique, giving a potential sense of added urgency. And even though DC has its share of mutated characters in one form or another, the mutagen from the Turtle universe is just that extra super unique.
And I have to say, missed opportunities by basically skipping Batman fighting the Foot Clan solo, since it's been teased he'll be working with the Turtles here on out, and skipping how the Turtles managed to defeat someone as formidable as Killer Croc. But it's still a good start to the story. Though I said the same thing about Batman Eternal. Tune in next week and we'll see if this fares better. I'm the Angry Spork, and man, have I got issues.